Google is capable of some pretty crazy stuff, and it gives you an idea of how easy it is for us to be watched. With their satellite capabilities and with the Google streetcar on the loose, it's pretty easy to find some unbelievable things here. Here are shocking Google Earth images. Number 16. Hippos bathing. Hippos are some of the most feared animals in Africa, and you would definitely not want to take a swim in this pond here on Google Earth. There are at least a few hundred of them, and they would really not appreciate you joining. It's crazy to see some nature on Google Earth, and occasionally, the eyes in the sky catch some pretty shocking stuff. It seems as though Google purposely includes older images with animals, and they took their time to leave the snip in the more recent imagery. If we had to take a guess, the river looks as though it's dried up, and you wonder where the hippos went. Number 15. Desert breath. What could this thing possibly be? A UFO landing site? No, it's actually an art installation in eastern Egypt. The winds of the Sahara have somewhat eroded this spiral, but that's certainly somewhat expected after 10 years. This was created by a Greek artist that covers a space of about 25 acres. Roughly 8,000 cubic meters of sand was dug up, and there used to be a body of water 95 feet deep in the center, but that quickly eroded. The artist stated that it meant to represent the infinity of the desert. Today it sort of represents a passage of time. Number 14. Lake Karachay. This lake has been home to quite a few disasters, releasing a horrible cocktail of hazardous radioactive materials into the water. The lake has also been known to dry up during warmer seasons and spread harmful dust into the wind. Lake Karachay was a dumping ground for one of the Soviet Union's biggest nuclear facilities, and it wouldn't be a good idea to even get close. It's currently listed as a near-surface and dry waste storage facility, and it appears from Google Maps at least that the pollution has caused it to dry up. Some claim that even being close to this area is enough to give you terminal radiation poisoning. Number 13. Random landing strip. Eloy, Arizona has been somewhat of a controversial place, and it's where illegal immigrants and their children are being kept. People who have been in there have claimed that the guards are abusive, and the sheriff who ran this joint received an executive pardon for discrimination. This bizarre landing strip needs 6 runways, which doesn't have an airport in the middle of the desert and is likely used for transporting detainees. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement location, not too far away, has no recreational facilities that we can see. However, you can find this soccer court, which doesn't seem too inviting. It's believed that it was made to get a bad reputation in order to deter any border crossers. Number 12. The NSA Database Center. Residents of Bluffdale, Utah might not be aware that there's a huge NSA database hiding behind a hill. But you can't hide from Google Maps. Let's go ahead and take a look at it before it becomes one of those places censored on Google Maps. The area was supposedly chosen for the patriotism of the Utah residents, but it was more likely chosen for the cool climate in order to cool down their massive servers. The building uses enough energy to power over 1,000 houses. The city of Bluffdale had to construct a $3 million system in order to deliver water to the federal building. The Army Corps of Engineers originally stated that it needed 1.7 million gallons of water a day in order to operate, but they settled with just 1.2. Let's not forget about the massive amount of data being stored on citizens which can be accessed with a warrant being stored here. A legislator wanted to stand up to the feds and shut off the water to the facility, but what would the consequences be? It doesn't seem to get great reviews by the local guides either. Number 11. UTA Flight Memorial. A tragic plane crash took place by a French airline which was attacked by terrorists while flying over Africa in 1989. The plane was flying to France from the Congo when an unexpected event took place. In order to show respect, a memorial that can be seen from above was placed on the scene of the crime. The Sahara sands have covered up much of it since then, and you can get an idea how isolated any survivor must have been. Number 10. The Cowgully Mine, Australia. In the hunt for gold and lots of it, you'd be surprised how it can change the entire landscape of an area. This is located in the remote Australian outback in the western part of the country, and it's so big it can be seen from space. The super pit almost looks as though it's bigger than the entire city right next to it. They originally considered a small number of underground mines, but there was so much gold, they just built a massive pit that will likely be on the surface of the earth for eternity. In order to get all the gold out of it, an estimated 15 million tons of rock is moved from the mine each year. In 1989, the super pit we see today was created, and eventually it was acquired by Barrick Gold in 2001. Number 9. Oil Wells, Argentina. Argentina has been known for being one of the top oil producers in the world, and we can tell from this place on Google Maps that it's certainly shaped their landscape. The area in Rio Negro has been spotted with all kinds of oil wells, all in the dense formation. It's a little bit surreal in a sense, and when you zoom in, you notice most of the time, there's nothing really there. It makes you wonder, even though after all the oil is gone, how it's going to shape the environment. Number 8. Kuwait oil fires. Skimming through the desert lands of northwestern Kuwait, you'll notice much of the land is scarred from the environmental crisis that took place. When Saddam was denied access to Kuwait by the world government, instead of handing over the oil fields to the US, they were just going to set them on fire instead. The area here at one point in time was dark enough to the point where it blocked out the sun, black rain fell from the sky, and oil wells burned for over 6 months. Livestock and villagers' lungs blackened like the color of the sand. Number 7. Illuminati Triangle, Arizona. They might be lurking in your own town, and you might not even know. Sometimes you guys just gotta take a look on Google Maps, and you can find out where they are. This bizarre random triangle is labeled on Google Earth, and it's quite shocking. You can also notice many mysterious trails leading to it, and you kinda have to wonder what might be going on here at night. Number 6. CocaCola Chili. What the heck is the country of Chile doing with the Coca-Cola logo visible from a satellite view? While Pepsi is known to have ties with Chile, Coca-Cola just seems like they're trying to have some kind of turf war by tagging up this mountain. Is Coca-Cola trying to advertise the extraterrestrials or something? According to some sources, it was made out of Coke bottles and has been sitting there since 1986. It's also visible from the street view as well. Number 5. Zaatari, Jordan. If you're curious what a massive Syrian refugee camp looks like, look up on Google Zaatari Refugee City. This place has a very high population density near the border of Iraq. The homes are the same color as the desert, and it looks quite different in comparison to the other buildings around it. It took a while for it to have access to many basic necessities, but finally, it seems to have a medical center and a football field. There are many concerns about the conditions of those being held here, but who knows anymore. Number 4. Wrecked ship Basra. Google Earth doesn't seem to have too much info of what kind of ship this is or how it tipped over. However, it has gained a few photos added by visitors to the ship. With all the oil in the area, it shouldn't be a huge surprise to find some weird things left over from the past. We all remember the intense conflict that happened in Basra, so it's certainly an interesting area to check out, especially all the strange markings to the east. It looks like some plots of land are just scorched off the earth. Number 3. The Nevada Triangle. We've seen before how the Illuminati are making their mark on the landscape that were probably not quite visible before without Google Earth. Here we have another strange triangle, this time in the middle of the desert in Nevada. Is this a UFO landing spot or what's the deal? There's absolutely nothing else around it for miles. For what possible reason could these geometric shapes be on the ground used for? Some feel as though it could be used for some type of target practice by the Air Force, but there's no charred land in the middle from the bombs or anything. However, there's one little building in the middle of the circle. What the heck is going on in there? Number 2. Windnum. There's something just a little bit creepy about exploring this town on Google Maps. The last time the Google streetcar rolled through here was in 2008, and you gotta imagine he had one case of the heebie-jeebies. Back during when asbestos was being used in homes, this town was booming with plenty of residents trying to get a piece of the pie. As time went by, they realized it was harmful and they fled the town. But could there still be people living in this remote town in the outback? Maybe not everyone was so quick to get out yet? These trailers over here still look pretty new, so maybe they should drive a little bit faster. And number 1. Giamana, Romania. More clear evidence of land misuse by the Soviets, Giamana, Romania is completely submerged by toxic water. Water was needed to mine for copper in this area, and you can see that the sludge has taken over the area which is consumed by toxic waste. The massive copper mine can easily be seen as well to the southwest. You can also tell the water flows downhill and directly into Giamana. If you explore the area, you can see some buildings poking out of the top.
So which one did you think was the most mysterious? Let us know in the comments section and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video.